The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Greene Sports Zone. This is the Tommie's Plumbing Betsy Shaw Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing Betsy Shaw Show, where we cover everything on the court with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. We'll recap the past three games with Crockett, North Greene, and Chucky Doak, and we'll preview the next game with South Greene on their District 1 2A schedule. But first, we need to get a few spot breaks in first, so join us real quick right after this break here on First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone. The Tommie's Plumbing Betsy Shaw Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommie's Plumbing, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Greene Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing Betsy Shaw Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, joined here with Lady Buffs head coach Betsy Shaw. Coach, how's it going this week?
Good. How are you?
I'm going well. I'm doing well. Had a three-game stretch with North Greene, Crockett, and Chucky Doak. Let's jump right into it. One of the tougher three stretches that you'll have on your schedule. Started off with North Greene, and then went into a home game with Crockett, and then an away game with Chucky Doak. Picked up 2 wins, had a lead in one, but let it slip away, and then resulted in a loss in the other. So take me through the last 3 games and how the Lady Buffs performed.
We can start with North Greene because they were the first of the 3. I thought we played well for 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, we had a bad fourth quarter. We had several turnovers, and then, we weren't executing very well with anything, and just stuff that we had done up to that point that helped us, be close or have the lead, we stopped doing. So it's just, and they play hard and they're well coached. So they're a good team, but still, just fourth quarter hurt us. So.
And it's one of those games where you have the lead for 3 quarters and let it slip away in the fourth. And even though you don't, of course, enjoy that because it results in a loss and you look back at it negatively, there's still some things that you can take out of that too. So what did you learn from that game that you want to take with you down the road in situations like that where you hold a lead in third and you try to avoid letting it slip away?
That we have to play for 4 quarters. We didn't, and we talked about it after the game and the next day, but to beat anybody, we're going to have to put together 4 quarters of basketball. Not 2, not 3. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. So that's something we've really tried to improve on since that game, because we didn't have 4 quarters quite at that game. So. And
I don't know if you put complete 4 quarters together in the past 2 games, but they did result in 2 wins over 2 key opponents. You had Crockett, which is a 4A school that comes in here to West Greene, and you knocked them off 44-41, and then you go on the road to Lower Afton in your first conference game and pick up a big win over Chucky Doak. And Chucky Doak was one of those I'm sure you'll talk about where you had that lead in the third quarter going into the fourth and you didn't let it slip away. So take me through both of those 2 wins and what worked well for West Greene.
I think the girls are buying in more and more to what we're doing. I really do. And, I've always thought that we have the pieces we need. And I said that last week. But, I think it's fitting together a little bit more each week. And, everyone's roles are kind of getting fit more so into what their roles are and what they need to be. We've had a bunch of players do really well the past couple games. Against Crockett, I heard several of them that guarded their point guard. She's really good. Neva, Callie were the 2 that switched on and off her. And then Joey and Madison both guarded the big girl, so they're big posts. So we sagged off a little bit on her, so that helped protect the paint. And then against Chucky Doak, we had a bunch of people step up and score. It was the same thing with Crockett. We had a bunch step up and score. Peyton's been scoring really well for us. Emily's scoring well for us. Neva throws some points in there. Sarah throws some points in there. Madison. So Callie, just all the little point adds up. And that against Chucky Doak, that was one of the first games in a while that we've had. I think it was 3 in double figures, so.
Yes.
Yeah, we've not been having 3, so that helped a lot. So.
And then last night in the Chucky Doak game, you have that lead in the third quarter. They start chipping away and get it to single digits, and then you lengthen it back out to a point that they couldn't come back. So how good did that feel on the sideline, knowing that whenever it looked like the lead would slip away again, they didn't let that happen?
It was better. I mean, it's good that they didn't. It just, I don't know why we put ourselves in that position like that. We had a pretty good lead, and then they just kept chipping away at it. But Peyton knocked down some shots, and Joey did a great job of protecting the paint all night. I don't know how many blocks she had. We don't have our stats back yet from Huddle Assist, but it was a bunch. She did a really good job with the paint, so that helped protect it. So.
And then that 8-0 run we talked about last night. Peyton Norton has back-to-back threes, and I can't remember who scored right after that, maybe Nevaeh, but it's such a big run right there because that was when they started to come back and cut it to single digits. And then you have, I believe, that 8-0 run plus another that made it another bucket that made it a 10-2 run to end the third. And then you start the fourth hot and carried that over. So how big was that run in the grand scheme of things overall?
It was great, to get them going and to see those shots fall. It helped build the momentum. The runs help with the momentum, and so you can tell when we have it and when we don't. So regardless if it's home or away, knocking down shots like that is a huge momentum shift for us. So.
And starting conference play, it's always big to get that first win, and not only to get that first win, but to get it on the road. I know that's special too because every coach talks about to win the conference, you have to steal some of those road games and defend your home territory. And you start off 1-0 while gaining one of those key road wins. So overall, how big was that win last night in terms of the conference standings?
It's a good start. One game at a time. And so that's what we're thinking right now. So it was a good way to start the conference play, though, at least. It's hard when you start out behind. And then you have to fight back and then hope these teams win or this team wins, to help with your standings. And it's a tough place to be in towards the end of the year. So hoping to not be in that situation.
What is it about that gym, too? I believe that's your third straight win now inside of Chucky Doak's gym. So what is it about that gym that the Lady Buffaloes always play well?
I don't know why they play well there. That's great. It's not me, it's them, but I'm glad to see them play well. I'm not sure what it is, though.
But something about it, always play well in there, and you pick up that first conference win going into another very important matchup this Friday with South Greene that could potentially determine who holds sole possession for number one going into New Year's and on to next year. So we'll talk about that in just a minute, though. As always, we need to get a word in from our sponsors first, so stick with us. We'll talk about the South Greene and North Greene games right after this break here on First Horizons Greene Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommie's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommie's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommie's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Greene Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plum and Betsy Shaw Show, where we cover everything on the court with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with West Greene head coach Betsy Shaw. So you got South Greene on Friday night, as we mentioned before we went into the break. Very important matchup because when you look at things and how the conference stands at this point, South Greene beats Unicoi, West Greene beats Chucky Doak, Johnson County beats Happy Valley. Unicoi and Johnson County play on Friday night. Most would expect Unicoi to win that one if Unicoi were to win that one. and it puts Johnson County at 1-1. This game between West Greene and South Greene would determine who would be number 1 going into January. So big game on Friday night. For you, it's good because you get to host first here in Jimmy Jones Gymnasium. So what do we expect on Friday night?
I'm excited for the game. I know the girls are too, but pressure, we expect to be pressed. So that's what we are expecting. It's going to be a tough game. They're physical. They play so hard. I've watched them play 3 games. They're tough. So a very physical, competitive game. So we're excited for it.
It's one of those things about South Greene too. I think I always compare teams to Hampton when it comes to pressure, because Hampton presses the whole entire game, and South Greene's like that at times too. They like to press, they like to force turnovers, they like to swarm you whenever you get the ball in a corner or after a rebound. So what's it going to take to outlast that pressure and to be able to get it across half court into situations where you can control things?
Taking care of the basketball as a team. It's never one person's job, and we went, every year we talk about this, but like, for the team to take care of the basketball and not go to the corners and pick it up and then look for your teammate when you got 2 on you. I mean, and then 4 quarters. Yeah, not 2 or 3, that won't be enough. And so 4 quarters of the best they can play, and then valuing our possessions on offense. So.
And I know I shouldn't ask this question just yet, but you win that first one and you come into the second one having it here at home, knowing that you've got that first win out of the way. Regardless, you wouldn't be 0-2 starting the conference season. At worst, 1-1. At best, go in leading the conference at 2-0 going into January. So how do you feel about your standing right now as we sit just 1 day removed from the beginning of conference games?
It's early.
Yeah,
it's early. There's so many more games to play, and I think it was last year we started out, good in the conference, and we dropped 1 to Johnson County early, and then it put us back in the middle, and then we had to fight back through. So it's 1 game at a time, and so it's good to get started by being 1-0 in conference, but man, there's so much more basketball left to play. So.
Absolutely. And then I know going forward a little bit, we'll have North Greene. You probably haven't even started for North Greene yet, knowing you've got South Greene coming, but you just prepared for North Greene. You just played them recently too, so they're fresh on your mind. So whenever you have the rematch with North Greene here at home next week, what are some things that you need to fix in order to come out with a win over the Lady Huskies?
4 quarters. I really think, that'd be our main thing. And there's a lot of little in-game adjustments that we can try to do better, but put together 4 quarters against them. So
you get 2 home games here back-to-back now. South Greene, North Greene. Expect it to be packed in both of those games, with it both being county games. South Greene game on Friday, North Greene game on Tuesday. If you can make it out to either of those here at Jimmy Jones Gymnasium, then we encourage you to. But unless there's anything else you've got to add, I think that's all I got this week.
We're good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Tommie's Plum and Betsy Shaw Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.